presenter, I think is a little more on the serious side than the last one we had. And that's Jason Dasti, who's going to talk to us or show us how to work with crown molding. So, Jason?
All right, is this on? Everyone can hear me? Yeah. All right. So how many of you have heard about, if you learn how to paint well, everyone wants you to paint their rooms? Yeah, anyone had that experience before? Yeah. So same thing goes with crown molding. Once you learn how to do it, unfortunately, you're going to be doing it for your uncles, your aunts, your sisters, your brother-in-laws, everybody. So if you don't want to do that, don't listen. Just don't let them know. Well, they'll see it in your house, right? So today Tom asked a few weeks ago, you may have seen someone, if anyone was doing renovations, and I told them that I'd done some crown molding in my house. And crown molding is always a pain in the ass, right? To do so. I found a really easy way to do it, though. And I have a 40s house over on Central Park, and it's I've really learned a lot from the house, and just trying to do things the way that they did it back then in the 40s. So a lot of stuff was like I did the presentation on the lap joining, which tends to last a lot longer over time. It doesn't separate. So often you're looking at, here I'll get away to the camera, usually when you're doing crown molding you need a saw like this because it has this really tall fence so that you can set your crown molding up on the right angle, and you got to hold it, and maybe you're working with a 12-foot piece and you're yelling at your wife or whatever to hold it straight, and you know how the whole deal goes. Well, forget all that. So you can just take these off because we're not even going to use them, right? You don't need this with, just for demonstration, you don't even need this with this technique. So basically, we're going to start off, we're going to show you how to do cope cutting. So I'll show you what it looks like. If you can get the camera in there. If I can figure it out. There you go. So you can see that with the camera. We'll zoom in on that. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So that's a cope cut. So you can see that's a straight edge right there. So this would go into the wall. This just goes right into the butt end of the wall. And this just gets joins right up to it. How does that go? But I don't have to do it this way. There you go. So there you go. So that's nice and easy. And you don't have to worry about it breaking down on you over time, because what you do, is that a good angle for you with the camera? Just come in and a little closer. All right. So you can see you'll want to nail into, just getting your crown molding up like that. You'll, put your nails in here and here, here and here into the wall. But the interesting part is that this is what I like about it. Can you focus a little bit more on that? So you put a nail, basically drive a nail in right here, and it goes straight through into both pieces of wood, and then right in the center of it too, right about around here. Drive another one, and it goes right into both pieces of wood, so it keeps it nice and tight over time. So if you've ever seen crown molding and you see over stuff that's been done a few years ago, it tends to separate right here, right? And then you start to see the caulking that was in there, it separates, and it doesn't look good, and it becomes really noticeable. Paint's cracking and stuff, so that prevents that from happening over time. Everything in my house is like this, and nothing is cracked. Everything's original. So I really like that feature of it. So that's why I'm starting to learn how to do this stuff. And it's actually super easy. So we're going to show you how to do it and how to make this cut. So I'll pass this around so everyone can see what we're looking at. And if you look at the coping cut on this side, we're going to use a few tools. It's pretty simple. We're going to use this coping saw right here. You can see that, coping saw.
Yeah.
Okay, and the important thing to note about this tool is that get your measuring tape out and measure 1 inch, and you should have about 18 to 20 teeth. That's a fine blade. I tried something with 15, it was really tough, so the finer the blade, the easier. And then also you're going to need this file right here. So this is a flat file on one side, and then it's rounded on the other side. So it's pretty easy with a saw. You want to use 2 measurements for your miter. You want to use the 30, it's preset on the saw already. So you want to use the 33.6 33.2, I believe. It says 33.6 in here. It's 33.62. And then you're going to want to use the, let me adjust this one, preset of 33.9 on your saw. Usually it's a preset, and it just clicks in 33.9. That's the only setting, I'll get out of the saw's way. That's the only setting you need for all the cuts, for every single cut. So you don't need to line it up, and the nice thing about it is you just lay your wood flat. So,
Jason, can we turn this a bit because the camera's
yeah.
so we'll face onto the camera there. So, yeah, that should do it.
Okay, so how do you release this one?
You want this one, you want me to?
Right here.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so get out of your way there. So basically that's the cut you want to make right there. Cutting on here, you're cutting on a 33.6 and you're cutting on a 33.9 for the angle, and that's what's giving you that cut you're seeing. So that's the one cut. If you want to do the other side, basically just slide it down, flip it over, and make that cut, and that's the other side of the wall. So you have one side and the other side. So the one piece of the crown molding is just a flat butt end, goes right into the wall, and the other piece of crown molding just butts right up into that. So you only have one cut to work with. So it's way easier than like trying to line it up and getting the right angle. And it slips a little bit and you end up having slightly off and then nothing square. Yeah.
So does those measurements, do they work for any piece of crown molding, or is that specific?
Any piece of crown molding,
That's
yeah.
all you have to know is that for any piece?
Exactly,
Okay,
yeah.
Even outside corners, outside lines?
Outside corners as well. You just got you might have to just figure it out, right? One angle, set the saw, figure out which way to switch it. Have a scrap piece that you work on, cut that piece first, and then go with your good piece. And then you'll figure out where to measure from and where to make your lines and stuff to fit the pieces in. So once you have your cut, then the next step is to put the angle on. So we're going to take the coping saw.
You have a question up here, Jason.
Yeah. Where is that?
You're saying about having to turn it around and upside down. Well, they have a jig out now. You just put it up on this jig the same way as it would go in the house. Just cut it the way it's going.
Yeah. There's probably new things out there. I mean, this is I don't have a saw. I have a saw like this, but I lent it out and it didn't come back with the with the guards or the fence there. So what can I do, right?
That's number one. Never lend your
Never lend your tools out. So true. Okay, so we're going to set this up. I'm just going to do a quick cope cut for you and just give you some tips on how to hold the saw the best way. You can just basically set up on your table. You want to hold it nice and tight. And then what I like to do, if you want to zoom in on the end of that piece, what I like to do is take a pencil, a sharp pencil, and just because we're going to be cutting on this line right here, that's the line we're going to be cutting on a good angle, like let's say 45. I like to just mark the edge with a pencil, and